In spring, Bred To Win featured some fabulous foals at Gooree Park Stud near Mudgee in New South Wales. But Gooree is much more than only a stud farm. It's also a great pre-training complex where most of the stars in red and black began their early education. And it's also home to retired champions such as the former Gay Waterhouse-trained Desert War. I caught up with Andrew Baddock to look at some of the history and the future of Gooree Park.
Hallowed Crown and scissor kick. Hallowed Crown got his head in front.
He finds the line though, this boy. It's Northern Meteor.
Prized icon number 1.
Andrew, it's always a pleasure coming to Gooree and seeing just generations of the same families doing so well for the farm. And I guess when you look back over the years, you've produced so many breed-shaping horses from here at Gooree.
We have, and we're in a unique position here with Mr. Quanko. He's a lover of agriculture and animals, and he loves the horses and the breeding, and he's been able to develop families over many generations where it doesn't happen so much in this commercial era where mares are being traded all the time, pregnancies being traded, but horses like Desert War, they're fourth generation Gooree homebreds, and it's very satisfying to develop those families. It's like Claiborne Farm in America. You know, we keep trying to improve the breed, and we're very satisfied with how things have happened. And certainly to breed some very commercial stallions is very satisfying.
And the humans too, you know, have a great history here. Of course, you've been here many years yourself and obviously been a big part of Gooree's success. And Vicky Cannon too, it was great to see her win the Godolphin Stud and Stable Staff Breeding Excellence Award.
Yeah, no, it was well deserved by Vicky. She's been here for well over 30 years and basically since the farm developed. And I started only a year or two after that. So we've seen a lot of good horses bred on the farm. And it's been great associated with the Quanko family, Eduardo Quanko and the whole family. They're very passionate about Australia, about the agriculture, the Mudgee district, and they love breeding and developing fine horses, wine and cattle. And they take great pride in the property, developing it. Mrs. Quanko loves the gardening side of things, and nothing gives more joy to Mr. Quanko than coming out to see his foals. And he likens himself to a bit of a mad scientist. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, mix it all around and you never know what you're going to come up with. He acknowledges it's a hard game, and he's been a great breeder for many, many years, and it's been a privilege to be associated with him.
Desert War going for back-to-back wins in the race, and he's taken over from Lateria.
The great Desert War, what an absolute champion he was, of course, and won so many races. You know, we know the Group 1s, but he was such a tough horse. He went on for year after year, and he seems to be loving his life as a nanny with his great bunch of fillies.
Yeah, well, he is a great signature horse, really, for Gooree. He epitomises what the Gooree horse is all about. He was a tough, hard, front-running horse trained by Gay Waterhouse. He wasn't a brilliant horse, he didn't have a turn of speed, but he had a great high cruising speed, and he broke a lot of hearts of horses behind him that were chasing him. He won 6 Group 1s. It's fair to say as a young horse he was no oil painting. He was a big, plain son of Desert King. I remember when he first went down to Gay, she rang me not long after saying, "What's this big hairy elephant you've sent us?" Well, not long after that, she was saying this big hairy elephant has got good speed. So he was a great horse, and he's having a great retirement. You saw a vision of him there. He looks after the weanlings every year and then the yearlings. He's been a great horse to everyone, and everyone that visits the farm always asks to see Desert War.
And looking at some of your young horses that are in pre-training now, and there are some 2-year-olds too we'll talk about, but you know, Matt Griffith is doing a great job. So you're really pre-training these horses almost right up to they're almost able to trial.
Look, we're very lucky to have someone of the calibre of Mac. I mean, he's a very talented trainer in his own right, and was a trainer on his own for 20 years, but as a lot of the country trainers find, it can be difficult to make ends meet unless you get the right horses. But he does a great job, him and his team over there on the pre-training. And especially when you're breeding a race, you're only as good as your last winner, and you really can't have a missing link in the chain all the way through, from conception right through to your trainer at the end. You have one missing link and the whole thing can go pear-shaped. So they do a great job, and we're very lucky to have Mac as a part of the Gooree team for the last 3 years.
Obviously, they've got the best ground day after day after day.
Yeah, look, it's as good a private training track as you'll find in Australia, really. And we've done a lot of improvements to the track. We've got new running rails in the last couple of years, a great turf surface. We've got new barrier stalls that we do jump outs there, so the horses are well educated, and you can have them racing from that track.
Crown Glory starting to storm home with Belle de Jour.
And Andrew, Crown Glory, second in Belle de Jour's slipper. I mean, she was called the winner basically till Belle de Jour just got there on the line. Dam of Hallowed Crown, so she's produced a stallion, and another stallion, Needs Further, who's doing really well down in Tasmania at Armidale Stud.
He is. Look, she's a terrific mare. She's now 20 years of age. Time does fly. It seemed like it's only yesterday that she just got beaten in the Golden Slipper. Needs Further was a very, very smart horse in the making until injury curtailed his career, but he's doing a great job in Tasmania. And then along came Hallowed Crown, champion 3-year-old of his year, and his oldest progeny now on the farm here are yearlings, and we're really happy with what we see. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of success with the Hallowed Crowns.
Obviously, as I said, Eduardo Coenco is, you know, a bit of this, a bit of that, as you said. But there is a lot of method to it too, isn't there?
He studies his pedigrees intensely. It's his great hobby and passion. But besides that too, that we were very lucky when they bought this property. I think it's great. It's a great area to grow horses. The property was designed very well. The yearling paddocks, as we saw in the vision with Desert War, they average 40 acres and they're very undulating. So it's very good country to rear horses. We're 40 minutes away from Gooree Stud, who are well renowned for breeding good horses. And we're 2 hours from the Hunter Valley, where we access all the stallions. So we're in a very good area to rear horses, and we're very lucky to have the size and the acreage that we do.
In kilometres, I mean, it's what, about 8 kilometres across the whole property, is that right?
It's 8 kilometres from the breeding side, the stud side, over to the racing complex. The whole Gooree Park holdings covers some 25,000 acres with cattle and vineyards. So it is a very, very big holding. Bounding Away was bred and reared over there, as was Ming Dynasty, a Caulfield Cup winner. So it was a proven breeding ground before Mr. Coenco bought the property, and he's just taken it on to another level since then.
So the future with these horses, the breeding to race is still a big thing. And I guess also developing colts and stallions, as you said. And you seem to have a great relationship with a lot of, you know, the major farms. Obviously your Songs at Widden, you have Smart Missile, Rock Sturdy down at Stockwell, and also Needs Further at Armidale. And, you know, are you looking to place your stallions? You know, obviously not all of them are going to be necessarily in the Hunter Valley. It's really important that you can place them in the right market. Yeah,
look, we're very mindful, as is everyone. You need, if you can crack commercial stallions, they go a long way to paying for the whole operation. And of course we had the ill-fated Northern Meteor only a couple of years ago. But we have great relationships with the Thompson family and Anthony Thompson at Widden, and we're mindful. We're basically, we are a private farm. So it suits us and it suits those farms that maybe can't afford to go and compete against the big farms and try and buy those stallions, that we can come to an agreement where they stand them on our behalf, they do all the marketing, they deal with the clients, and then we access those stallions from here, from our private base here. So it suits both parties, and we're very happy with the way things have developed, and we're always looking to try and create that next commercial stallion prospect.
Tropical Affair has taken a slight lead from Catnip, who's fighting back in the final stages. Catnip on the outside.
Tropical Affair, she won a Maribyrnong plate, so she was a very good 2-year-old herself. She's thrown a Derby winner, Prized Icon.
She's been a great matron to the farm. She's now 22 years of age.
Prized Icon for Glenn Schofield has won the Derby.
He ticks a lot of boxes here. He's placed at a breeder's plate behind Capitalist. He's bred to be a 2-year-old. He's a beautiful looking horse, and he had enough class to win a Derby. I think he's certainly not a true stayer, but class prevailed and probably the best sprinter won.
I don't think people understand quite how much goes into running a farm such as this financially, but he's obviously really enjoying the fruits of all that.
Oh, look, I think the Australian racing and breeding industry is indebted to people like my boss, Eduardo Coenco, Sheikh Mohammed from Godolphin. We are fortunate that they are passionate about the industry, because without them there'd be a lot less jobs, and they are very passionate. And over the years, the boss has poured millions into the racing and breeding empire that he's got here, and millions into the industry and the local community. So, you know, a lot of people need to be thankful to what he's done, and he certainly deserves every bit of success he gets.